Hi, this is Greg Keel from MacPhail Center for Music in Minneapolis, and I'll be doing a few comments for you on the Baritone Saxophone MMEA Audition Solo Etude. First of all, this is, for all the baritone players, this is a really great etude to play because it uses all the parts of the saxophone. It uses the full range of the instrument for the most part. You don't get a low B flat or a low A on the horn in any of these, but you still get some nice low notes and some palm key tones, and it offers a lot of great contrast and a lot of opportunity to sound musical and show your best playing style and ability. The first thing I would suggest is that you remember to check the tempos, as always. Time signatures, tempos. You're in 4/4 at the beginning on the Andante cantabile movement. The suggested tempo is quarter note equals 76, so make sure you have some kind of metronome or metronome app that you have readily available to know where the goal is, to be sort of in the ballpark, tempo-wise. And it's not like has to be a firm 76, but somewhere, again, in the realm is where you want to shoot for. The first movement is fairly easy to practice. Be careful on the dynamics. As mentioned, good opportunities. You move from mezzo piano through a crescendo to mezzo forte, back down to piano, and then a crescendo into the rubato measure 7, and then tapers down at the end of bar 8 as well. Real important to remember, by the way, Andante cantabile. Andante is this giant no man's land of, if you look at a music dictionary definition, it'll say medium slow or walking tempo. Well, if you've ever been to New York and stepped out on a sidewalk, they don't walk slowly. You'll get bowled over if you're in the way. So it's a tempo that runs somewhere between medium slow, just a little faster than adagio, up to almost moderato. You have some leeway in here, but again, use the quarter note equals 76 as your sort of basic guide in that. But cantabile, that's a really important word for all musicians to know, in a singable style. So you get to be the vocalist. And, as I like to say to my saxophone students, singers, this is their instrument, but this is my voice. So you want to be a singer when you play this movement and make it sing. Heads up, a little interpretive option at measure 7. The rubato, it says poco, so little, but you will hear in my performance earlier that there's a little slow down in there, a little give and take with the time, and then kind of back to tempo at bar 8. But this is a beautiful, beautiful movement to showcase the melodic virtuosity opportunities that the baritone saxophone has. And you'll also notice, by the way, just on that sort of turning this into a singer's instrument, I'm using vibrato. And by the way, for those of you who are unschooled in using vibrato, very simple. The saxophone, the best way on saxophone for vibrato, jaw vibrato. You don't see my jaw moving just because it's so ingrained, and I've played saxophone for so long, but I am moving my jaw by saying this, starting with V as in Victor, va, V-A-H, va, 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 va. It's a really great way to get your jaw moving in a nice romantic sounding vocal-esque manner. So I hope you'll use that vibrato, and especially on the higher notes, especially the longer ones. And the ones that come to mind are the 2 half-note A's. Very important. You can use it on the middle D at the end in measure 9, but because it's a closed note, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you'll find that there's a little more jaw motion to make that sound as vibrant as the high A's do. So a reminder, every note on the saxophone when you're playing vibrato has its own personality. So you need to make sure you inject the ear for quality and good taste, gusto. The second movement, allegro agitato, agitated. So, you can kind of, I don't want to say you'd want to rock and roll this, but you want to sound urgent about it. Like it should have a sense of immediacy about how you play it. Even starting at the mezzo piano opening tempo. And again, you're now in cut time, half note suggested at 88. So learn the segue, the transition between the end of the first movement into bar 10, the opening of the allegro movement. Learn to process that by repeated opportunities to get that so it's a good transition. Again, dynamic contrast, that's really important. Accents are important. We have some staccatos. A reminder, one-word definition of the word staccato, separated. So, we can separate with different lengths of notes, but there has to be just a little separation in those notes. So experiment. You want them to be fat, but they have to have a little edge to them. So bar 14 up to mezzo forte and a 2-bar slurred phrase. And going into measure 19 up to forte. So there's some energy that goes along nicely with the agitated feeling, okay? You will hear me having played the B ending option, by the way. It's the little more dramatic and more challenging, as they note as Brad notes in his score here, the composer. And that both endings are fun to play, especially the B ending is neat. And a reminder that anytime you have the 8th note phrases, and especially a good example would be measures 38 and 39. You have, we're moving down to the low C sharp, concert E, so slow practice. To make sure that those are even phrases, okay? But this is an impressive sounding etude to play. So good practicing to all of you. Be accurate beyond anything else. Make sure as you practice slow for accuracy and practice to make sure no matter what you do, it's always musical. So best wishes. Thank you.